Hey YouTube. Welcome back to Welsh Farms here in southern Illinois. I'm out here at Madden's field where I just planted some soybeans. Right now we're on day 15, and if you look down there, we got some rows of beans popping up. Take a look here. Some of them are looking really good. Just a little bit concerned, debating on the whole replant. Basically, if you look down the rows, in some spots it looks really good, and then other spots you can take a walk and there will be a 2-foot wide strip, which would have covered, you know, 3, almost 4 rows, and 6 foot long, and there's not a plant there. So we're definitely gonna have to scour over this, maybe have my seed guy come out and take a look, see what he thinks. With this being a double crop, I do have a 50% replant that is available for me. So you know, I want to entertain all possibilities that are out there right now. I'm happy with the beans that have come up where they're at. Again, we're on day 15 right now. The day after we planted, it ended up getting some Pell lime put on it, and it was sprayed with Liberty the following day because I had a bunch of mare's tail out here. The guy that combined it, the farmer that combined it, he was really concerned about that. So I took his advice and got it sprayed immediately, and that Liberty absolutely smoked it. You can look out here, all those dark plants that are out there. Those are, that's the mare's tail, just completely gone, annihilated it. So really happy with that. Thankful for my local FS that came out here and sprayed and applied that Pell lime for me, with me not having that kind of equipment to do that. So thankful for them. This field also, you can see here, these beans right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plants right there that have just, the top half has been completely bit off due to the fact that this field is just surrounded by timber. And that timber right there behind me, that's about 30 or 40 acres of deep timber. And when you come out here about an hour before sunset, this field is covered up in deer. So there's a lot of deer pressure. It is the downside to this field, but then again, we're in whitetail country. We're in the Midwest. That's part of it. You just hope that there's you get enough crop. And ended up overseeding. I ended up seeding this at a rate just a little higher than recommended. I was targeting the upper end of the spectrum for soybeans at 80 pounds per acre. After I did my calculations, I ended up putting 85 pounds to the acre on it, so I was really happy with that. Like I said, the ground at the time, as you saw in my previous video, that the ground was just super hard. Had to get those coulters in the ground with some extra weight on the front of that no-till drill. So like I said, just gonna have to the seed guy come out and take a look, see what he thinks about replanting. Today is day 21 since I planted them. Last night we got 1 2/10 inches here at this field, and this is the second measurable rain that this field has had. It actually had 3.5 inches of rain throughout a 4-day span. Day 5 through 8 is when that happened. So it'd been a while. The ground again was hard. I had FS, my local FS, come out here. Fortunately, they are just about a mile or so from here. So had them come out and look, and they took some measurements for seed count, and they were thinking it averaged somewhere around about 140,000 seeds per acre. you know, just from what I've been reading on soybeans, I am by no means an expert whatsoever. This obviously being my first time ever planting them. I guess you're hoping for around maybe 170 or 180,000. Now when I planted it, like I said, it ended up being what I calculated, what I actually put in the ground was 193,000. So, you know, you can blame that on weather, ground conditions, you know, was it the drill itself? You know, there's so many different things it could have been. But basically, this is the card that I was dealt. Really on the fence if I should replant. I have my seed dealer. He's telling me just to forget what's here and obviously just replant the whole thing at 230,000 seeds and catch these later rains that are coming typically in late summer around here in the Midwest. But FS is telling me to leave it. So it's kind of like a catch-22 for me. You know, do I come in here and replant it or not? I missed the deadline for crop insurance because it never even crossed my mind that I needed it. It's just a small little 15-acre patch, but you know, me, I have to plead ignorance. I didn't know how inexpensive it really was, and I first heard about it when I harvested my wheat. That's when I started looking into it, but the deadline was March 15th. It was several months before I even thought about harvesting my wheat. And at the time, in March, the wheat field looked great. So essentially, I'm just gonna come out here. I did my own seed counts. What they told me at FS was what you do is you measure out 17.5 foot in one row, and you count how many plants are in there, and then you multiply that times 4 because you want to go over 30 inches. Basically 30 inches by 17.5 foot ends up being 1/1000th of an acre. So for beans, there's 4 rows in 30 inches, and for corn you would just measure out 1 row because there's 1 row every 30 inches. And then again, you multiply it times 1,000, that would be seeds per 1,000. That's a little rough as far as beans go, because obviously you're just figuring that each row is symmetrical and has the same amount of beans in it or seeds that germinated, and that's just not the case whatsoever. So, you know, it's pretty rough, but from what I measured, you know, I have some spots that aren't even 100,000. I have other places that are over 200,000. You know, averaging, I probably think this is probably somewhere in like the 120,000 range. You know, I think FS said maybe 140. I think they were, you know, trying to be nice. I don't know, but I don't know. Again, just the challenges of farming, trying to decide what to do in these cases. Obviously, crop insurance is nice to have in your back pocket in times like this, where you just kind of, you know, roll the dice, let it go, see what it does type deal. But for me, in this situation, it's like, if I don't do something, you know, I'm gonna be lucky to pay for my cost, which didn't even happen with the wheat, you know. So tough. We're just gonna wait a couple days, since we did just get this rain and it's gonna be hot these next few days. I want to see, there are some seeds just starting to pop up right now. I mean, again, the ground was rock hard, then it had rain on top of that, you know, so the seeds having a hard time coming up. I'm just gonna wait until maybe Saturday. Right now, today is Wednesday, or yeah, today's Wednesday. So we'll see in a couple days, I guess. If not, then I'll have to get the drill from the local NRCS and come out here and replant. I really don't want to do a spot replant, you know. That would just be having different maturities throughout the field. If I'm going to replant, I'm just going to redo the whole thing, and it'll all be the same maturity. I'll plant the same direction that I am right now. That way I have a better chance of running over more of the beans and just having one maturity bean out here. not having to worry about the stuff that's already here maturing and flowering out, and not allowing the new seed to get the sunlight that it needs. So that's what I'm up against, and I'll be sure to let you guys know how it goes. And the other factor in all this is that it's July 15th, or another factor in all this is that today is July 16th, and rule of thumb for farmers typically is July 15th. If you don't have your beans in the ground, you might as well not even try, because they're probably not going to mature in time, and they'll probably get hit by the first frost, and then it'll just absolutely decimate what kind of crop or what kind of yield that you end up getting. So that's the other thing I'm up against. Just add it to the list. Okay, here we are back out at the bean field 3 days later, and I've obviously decided to replant. I got a few passes down, finally got the depth where I wanted it to be, finally got the beans to 1.5 inches. This time I have a little bit smaller of a drill. It's more of my local county's drill. It's only a 7-footer compared to a 10-footer, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but the ground still has some moisture in it, and I didn't think my tractor was going to be able to handle that 10-footer. Even in that rock hard ground, it was all she wanted to pull. And you remember from my previous video that I didn't even fill it up with seed, just because I didn't want the extra weight in there. So this one I was able to put half my seed in there, where I only have to stop once to fill up. But good night. It's already in the 80s. It's only 10 in the morning, and heat index is going to be well over 100 today. So got my water, and just going to try and stay in the shade under the canopy as much as possible. Just filled up the drill with the second half of the seed. It's noon right now, and by the way, today is July 18th, so typically, like I said, July 15th is kind of rule of thumb, but 3 days, just kind of rolling the dice here, hoping for a late freeze, late first frost, that is, and that's all you can do at this point. I'm gonna run home and grab some lunch, spend an hour in the air conditioning, and then come on back out and finish her off. Okay, so after an extra hour, a little detour with the Tractor Supply, decided to do a little upgrade. After 2 hours of listening to this thing droning, decided to upgrade. Oh man, these are gonna be nice these next couple hours. My wife said we need to cut back on soda. Whatever. She didn't say anything about these. Fudge brownie. I like them. just got done planting beans for the second time. Everything went good, didn't have any issues. The only thing I had was after I got done doing my runs, before I did my headlands, I ended up running out of seed. But it was basically perfect, which was crazy in itself. But I calculated it out and I ended up planting 259,000 seeds per acre. So that is definitely on the upper end of the spectrum. I had to have my wife bring my leftover seeds, which were 3922s, to do my headlands. Everything else was a 4314. These are Golden Harvest Enlist E3 beans. So I will give you guys updates here soon. I appreciate you watching. Please take a second to subscribe, like this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to answer anything that I can. I'm in this learning. I hope you guys are learning also. These beans are something I've never done, row crop period. You know, as you know, if you watch this channel at all, I'm new to farming. I've only done it for a couple years now. So like I said, please take time, post a comment, let me know if you guys are liking these videos, or if you want to see anything different. Make these videos for you guys. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. God bless.